Boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm the Obscure Angel BD, and for today what I have here is a very special game called Wartile. So this game was developed by the Playwood project and it was developed using Unreal Engine 4. So the Playwood project is a developer team that I didn't know before. I got this game mostly because I got an offering for a key. That was Deck 13 that actually offered me the key, and so when I saw Deck 13 I was like, holy shit, Deck 13 from the developers of Words of the Fallen, from the developers of The Surge, all great Souls type games. And so I accepted the key without even looking to the game, and then I noticed that after all Deck 13 was the publisher and not the developer of this game. And so this game, it is pretty much a much different game, and it's still in the title. But right now we are here on the graphics settings, so as you can see you can personalize a lot of stuff, which is completely normal for an Unreal Engine 4 games. I decided to test the game with the average settings, the low settings, and also the minimum settings, because you can go below the low settings, you can drop many stuff from the low. But after all, in my opinion, the performance is something that is not very important with this game, which I will explain to you right away, but first I will show you the results, okay? So this is the results that I got playing with the native resolution of this laptop. The average settings did offer us an average of 28 frames per second and a minimum of 22. The low settings offered us an average of 29 and a 1% of 21, so it's pretty much the same performance if you choose average or low settings, although if you drop every stuff to its minimum you will get an average of 34 and a 1% of 25. So in all settings the game will drop from those 30 frames per second, but what did I say before? That doesn't really matter too much in this game, because this game, it is pretty much an hybrid between a turn-based game and a board game. So yeah, it's a board game, more and less. That's what I want to show you. So I will just select a mission in here, which I used also to benchmark on my desktop, which is the second mission, which I think, I'm not really sure about all the other maps and how much the game demands, but I do expect this game to run just fine in this system, okay? And as you can see, this is how the game looks. It seems like Hitman Go or Warcraft Go from the mobile and now on Steam too. So it's a little bit weird, it seems like a board game, right? And this is where I will explain to you how this game works. So you have some sort of objectives and side quests or objectives which you need to complete, and you have this X board where you can move the characters. So when I saw this for the first time I was expecting, okay, so this is a turn-based game. Not exactly. This is some sort of a mix, an hybrid between a turn-based game and, well, a real-time game. So it's like the old Final Fantasies, like Final Fantasy XII, where the game behaves like it is a turn-based game, but at the same time it isn't. So it's an hybrid. I don't have better words to explain than to show to you how this really works. Okay? So you have also some skills that your character can do, and you have also other skills which you can take that consumes mana. The mana is that 10 value on the bottom of the screen, as you can see. So I'm here fighting this guy with two characters. Each character has his own abilities. You can equip the characters with different stuff, okay, different armors or weapons. I'm not really sure about weapons. I didn't spend too much time investigating the game, to be honest, but I noticed that you can change many stuff on your characters and you can get other characters, and this is where the problem starts, because this is not the first time that I'm playing this level. I played this level multiple times before on my desktop and multiple times on my laptop for testing the frame rate. So what happens is I end up earning a lot of points, unlocking new characters, new equipments, and I unlocked a ton of stuff. And one of the things that I wasn't really expecting in this game is that this game has an auto balance feature, which if you go back to the levels that you completed before, it's going to be much more difficult. It's not that your enemies will be more stronger, but probably there will be more monsters, and probably the monsters will be certain certain variations which are more stronger. So you will end up with a lot more monsters than before, just because you also evolved a lot into the game further. So I actually got more characters, I got more equipment, and so I got back to the mission that I completed before, and then I noticed that, oh my god, this is more difficult now too. The problem is, when I made this video, I took the exact same characters which I usually take, which are the most weakest one, and without even having new equipment. So, in correct words that I'm going to use in here, I was completely raped trying to complete this level, so it was completely insane. But the game is actually quite interesting. I'm not really in this type of turn-based game mixture with a real time. Most of the people criticized a lot this because people were expecting this game to be turn-based, and I agree that this guy should have an option to create this game also, or I mean they should have add an option for the players to enjoy this game in a turn-based stuff, in a turn-based gameplay, but they didn't. The only thing that you can do sometimes to slow time and think about a little bit more what will be your strategy is you can use the slow motion or the slow time, where the game will go very slowly and you will have time to think a little bit. But imagining that the pause menu wouldn't exist and you need to go to your bathroom taking a shit, possibly when you got back you were already killed, because the slow motion still, it's just slow motion, you know, the time still goes on, and if you don't move, every 5 seconds or 3 seconds your enemies will continue to walk and continue to attack if you don't do nothing. So how to play this game? This game is quite simple. So as you can see, you can move your characters from X, I think it's how it's called, it's an export, so you can move from places to places. So let's say you have a maximum amount of steps which you can take per turn. Let's imagine that is turns. It is a mix between turn-based and real time. And one of the things that if you want to fight, you need to have some ideas how to fight them, so it's not always the same. Let's imagine that if your character is above the enemy, I mean geometrically, if your character is positioning above the enemy, you have an advantage in fighting, but if your character is below the enemy, you are in disadvantage regarding the fighting against the enemy, and so you will take more damage than the usual. And if you are above the enemy will take more damage, and possibly we will take it will be a little bit more difficult to the enemy to kill you. So this is how it plays. So you just need to have your characters above the others to have an advantage. The problem is things are always not that simple, and your characters still have your skill tree, which you can apply some attacks. You can use the attacks that are not from your character, but you need to waste mana. You have side quests which you can complete to earn more points and to get more materials and more equipments and to earn more characters more quickly, or you can just simply finish the game with the main objective. So I didn't investigate too much about the game and I didn't play it that much, but for people that actually like strategy game and like this type of games, this is actually really great. One of the things that really surprised me a lot about this game, it is really the sounds. I mean, I'm not saying about the sound quality of the weapons and stuff, but I mean the background music, it feels really well toned down to really good for this game. And the second thing it is visual presentation. Okay, the game is developed with Unreal Engine 4, it's true. So with Unreal Engine 4 you can make beautiful stuff because it's a great engine, just like Unity or CryEngine. But anyway, the presentation and the way it goes, it is really awesome. And the fact that the characters are just pieces like a chessboard, but they can move, and I don't know, this is really well. The menu system in the beginning of the game, it is something really pretty and very organized. So despite this is an indie game, I think all the presentation, the sounds, the musics are really good in my opinion. I think it's a nice game. This was on Kickstarter before, they got their objective, and now we have here the final game. I want to thank you again to Deck13 for sending me out this game, also to the Playwood project, sorry. For sending me out a copy. and I'm going to thank to all my viewers for watching this video. Okay, so guys, that's all. Thank you a lot for watching. Again, if you want to enjoy this game, whatever the settings you go for, probably it will be many times lower than 30 frames per second, but since this is an hybrid between a turn-based game and you know, a turn-based game and an hybrid, I mean real time, and you can slow the time of the game applying the slow motion, I don't think that the frame rates being lower than 30 frames per second will be something that will prevent you to play the game. I don't think that will be a problem, okay, but that's really up to you. So guys, thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.